Crypto Outlaws training session 8. Full screen that here. Let me see if Zach, did you want me to call you to talk? Zach's going to be here tonight, everybody. I'm just checking in with him if he has the time to talk on the phone or if he's just going to be tuning in on the stream. So we will see. Hey, everyone. Drop your... How's my audio? Dan, how's my audio? Drop a hello so I can add you to the wheel. Best sound yet, Jester. Awesome. That makes me feel a lot better. Okay, let me add Jester, Japster, and Truman Dan to our wheel. I'll give it a couple more minutes before we start. If you're oh, well, I have a couple poker Discord channels I forgot to post in, so give me a second real quick. Let me get our people together. We are live now. $33 and $20 stakes available. Let me get it. Share this, and I think we'll get started in just about a minute or two, y'all, because we do have spaces in an hour. So this last training is going to be a little bit more fun, a little more informal than the last couple of weeks. We've been studying hard, honestly, these last couple of weeks. So we're going to have a little break. We may resume these trainings in the near future, but once you see next week's schedule, you will see that we have a ton to do for all holders, especially our ringleaders. We have like 6 events a week for y'all. And so the training is a little bit overkill right now. But we'll see. We'll see what the community wants, of course. And let's see. I'm gonna restart this. And Dan, Jabster, Jester. Cool. And we'll tag some of our regulars in our Discord chat, and then we'll get going. I know Max is usually up here. Max, Forex, 04D, 2603. Who else is a regular who's up here? Help me out, Pips. Who else is usually up here at this time? Mary Rose, I think, is up here sometimes. It's Tiger. Terramucci. We're live. All right, that's enough waiting. The train game. I like that, True Man Dan. That's a good one. I meant to ask you, Dan, about like that. I was following your Twitter and I saw that you had won some Bitcoin. I was really curious as to how much that was. It looked like a really interesting project. So I'll definitely DM you later about that. Anyway, let's we only have 3 contestants. So the ROI of being here is really high for y'all right now. You have a very high chance of getting that $22 or $33 stake. So let's get to it. All right. So just a little bit of an overview of what's going on. There's been so much going on in the Discord, so many updates lately that I didn't want anyone to miss some of these updates. This has been a really big week, and it's going to continue to just get bigger and bigger with staking coming live. Briggsy, you Briggsy is calling you out, Dan. I think he's saying that name is sus. So I don't know. Y'all talk it out, and then if you have a better nickname, let me know. I'm fine either way. Briggsy, you have a 2 out of 4 chance of winning a stake. Come to the stream, buddy. All right, so we have a Twitter Spaces with bullets, 30K bullet on the line. That's coming up, and you only need 50K bullet to main outlaw. So some of you with like 20K bullet, and if you want to get in that 50-50, jump into Spaces. It's not going to be necessarily a lump sum of 30K bullet, but you can get like 10K bullet at a time or 5K. I'm not really sure. We'll talk to Zach, but if you're close, we're actually going to run probably more 50-50s in the future. We're going to have more utility for ringleaders, which is what I'm about to mention now, and there will be more utility for minting during certain time periods. So, yeah, Dan. I mean, Briggsy gotta get his mind out of the gutter, but he has a good point. We don't want to be like rolling in as the champ train gang and then being made fun of. Anyway, we got that 30K bullet training right after this. I'm gonna end at like 7:54 to give us enough time to get over to Spaces. That gives everyone enough time. I saw someone just join the live chat. Make sure you drop your name so I can add you to the wheel. You have a high chance of getting a stake tonight. We only have 4 attendees so far, so if you're just joining the stream, say hello in the YouTube chat, and I will add you to our raffle. So yeah, Twitter Space is the big one. Zach will be telling you about all the updates on the dev side. We have staking coming soon. I was actually talking to Zach, and I think the card room might be coming a lot sooner than I thought. I'll let him speak to that. Just ask good questions, and you will be eligible for some bullet. So tomorrow we have our 50-50 tournament. I should have said the date. It's tomorrow, Saturday, at 4 p.m. Eastern. There's $650. Currently, the prize pool with only 9 runners, which is about 0.3465 ETH to be exact. If you have minted an outlaw this week, you are eligible. You have until 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. That's going to be the deadline, 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow to mint outlaw to be eligible. The next mint is going to push us to over $700 with how ETH is right now, because the prize pool is actually like closer to 660. So the next mint is going to push us to $700. That's a huge prize pool for such few runners. I don't think there's really anything like this in NFT poker. And of course, you get access to all of the outlaw events, the $100 Wednesday tournaments. We have our 4 prize tournaments on Sundays. You got your bullet tournaments on Tuesdays, which is going to be moved, and you have so much more utility that we're bringing. Like the collaboration with Pitbull Poker Tour, that's something that I want to pursue in the future, getting more serious about collabs. And you will always, always, always have to be a holder to enter these new collabs. We're kind of done with doing and giving out a ton of value without anyone investing in our community. Make sure that you let people know what's going on. 20% referral bonus is still going on, which is it's a decent amount of money. Like you're getting like $32 if you refer someone to Mint Outlaw. So shill Outlaws, y'all. Shill us. Get your friend to mint their first outlaw. I'm sure they'll love it, and then they may even mint more. Use your referral link and get $32. I used my first one last week. Jason, I definitely understand how that is. I actually am going to start running these outlaw SNGs are going to become a weekly thing, but I'm going to actually start scheduling them for Saturdays. So like we've been kind of going really impromptu night to night. We've ran a couple SNGs where 5 people were able to say like, I got $30, let's play, and then we ran a couple SNGs this week. Next Saturday, the buy-in is going to be lower. It's going to be $16, or half that price in ETH, 0.008. And we're gonna try to get 10 that way. I'll definitely talk to Zach about that as well. So maybe we can like guarantee an outlaw a tup no matter what. So even if we just get like 7 entrants, we'll still run and guarantee an outlaw for 10% of mint price for the buy-in. Zach, if you are in the stream, you can let us know if that sounds good to you, or you can give me a call too, and then we can talk about it. But we're going to continue to run outlaw SNGs even after the 50-50, because a lot of you probably do want to get to that ringleader utility, which is the last thing I wanted to announce if you had missed it in announcements. So ringleaders are owners of 3 outlaws. So even after the 50-50 is over, there's still a huge incentive to mint a ringleader, because right now I think we're going to have 11 or 12 ringleaders. And our ringleaders are going to compete every week against 3 other prolific poker communities, Pitbull Poker Tour, Pocket Snails, and Poker Go. On stream, there's some really serious streamers over there at Pocket Snails, Ape Styles, 17 million plus in winnings, and his team they have like a pretty good Twitch stream following. So they'll be streaming the event sometimes. Bomber's trying to work with Poker Go and his just larger community. Poker Go has like 1100 mints. So he's going to see if there's any streamers out there who want to play. So you'll be able to play, in front of potentially hundreds of people on stream for a opportunity to win a $109 stake. And just like our stakes work, you'll keep 50% of your winnings for that $109 stake. And all you have to do to qualify to compete in that tournament is win a satellite tournament within Outlaws. So yeah, within Outlaws, we're going to have like 11 people, and keep in mind, like a ton of us are busy. A lot of the ringleaders are busy. I know Trucking Fool is like studying to do day trading and things like that. So it could be very well that you're only competing against 7 or 8 other ringleaders for a chance to represent us in that community game where there's $109 up top. And it's going to be top 2 in our internal game. In the Outlaw game, the top 2 representatives are going to go on to the next level. So it's not just one person. There'll actually be 2 ringleaders who go on to represent us within the other communities. And that opportunity is taking place every single week. So that's awesome, right? It's utility that is not going to expire. And we're going to run this with the 3 other partners for 4 weeks. And then we're going to see if we want to expand the prizes. Like we might actually increase the stakes. Maybe we'll do more than $109 stake. Maybe we'll just invite other communities so that we'll be able to do more prizes. So we're going to reevaluate at the end of this 4 weeks. This is the beginning, and we're starting with a really strong team, and we'll go from there. But anyway, let's jump into our hand review. And I tried my best. The images after this are a little bit better, but this first one I'm going to have to explain it a little bit because it is a little bit of a doozy. We do have Lolo Rich, who submitted a hand for review, and he was forehanded in this sit and go. He decided forehanded to raise King of Clubs, Jack of Hearts on the button, which is pretty standard. He raises. He's the hero in this situation. He raises to 3 big blinds, and he gets a call from the big blind, which was actually Prince Tiger, funnily enough. So the flop comes 10 of hearts, 9 of diamonds, 8 of hearts. The big blind checks, and the button bets 1/3 pot. I I think this is okay. Hey Max, adding you to our raffle, man. You have a 20% chance right now of winning a raffle tickets. We only have 5 entrants, but that will change as we go on with the stream and y'all answer some questions. Anyway, he had an up and down straight draw, and then also, he had the super nuts. If he's competing against the jack, he can draw to the super nuts by hitting a queen. He bets a 3rd pot, and then the button re-raised him to 4.77 big blinds, and Lola raises for all, and the villain calls. He wanted to evaluate this play here, and the run out was just it all went in on the flop, so it's kind of irrelevant how it ran out, but he did lose 5 of spades, 8 of clubs. And I wanted to talk a little bit about whether or not how did he get in this situation, and did it really have to go down this way, right? So how it looks is that our buddy Lolo was ready to commit his stack, but by the time he gets check raised, you're not going. Hold on. Sorry. By the time he gets check raised and he shoves all in, it's only 1,800 more. Yeah, 1,893 more for the villain to call. So in a pot that's about 13.7K, he re-raised for 1,800 more. Right? So he's never getting a fold. So he's deciding that he's ready to gamble all in. My problem here is if you are ready to gamble all in, you shouldn't be betting 1/3 pot here, because you are giving your opponent way too much equity to make moves like bluffing you with pocket deuces, or even if they have a lesser hand, like maybe like 7-8 or 6-8, something like that. There, all these hands that have huge equity against you, betting one third pot opens the door to them calling or even check raising, and you get put in the spot where you really do want to see a turn card here, right? You have a very strong hand. You have two overs and an up and down straight draw with the super nut straight to the king high straight, right? So you either, if you're saying I'm committed to this hand, bet like three-fourths pot. If Lolo is committed to this pot and he bet three-fourths pot, I really doubt Prince Tiger is going to check raise him all in with pocket twos on this board. It's a very super wet board. And so, Lolo, you wanted me to evaluate your hand and let you know what I think. I think betting is fine, but this is why we were studying bet sizing for like the past 3 weeks, right? You bet one third pot, and Prince Tiger sensed weakness because this is a wet board, and he thought maybe if Lolo doesn't have anything here and I check raise, he should fold. Prince Tiger's sizing was actually a little bit iffy too because he priced himself in to call no matter what. So Prince Tiger, if you're going to call no matter what, really should have went all in on the check raise, right? Right, y'all. So this is just a really interesting hand because it's two members of our community that actually play really well. But in this size, this is all the reason why bet size matters, especially if you're ready, if you're committed to the pot. Like this is he's only got 20 big blinds, so I understand you have to make your move sometimes. But if you're gonna make your move, don't bet one third pot, and then this is kind of the things that you're opening yourself up to. Deny equity, like Jason said, by betting three-fourths pot or even pot. So that was hand review number one. Hand review number two is with Jester, our good friend Jester, versus the villain. And this is where we're going to start to get some raffle ticket entries for answers. Okay. I really like this hand. I really like this hand. So this is Jester versus the villain in heads up play. And they are both about 17 big blinds deep for Jester. He had like 16.9K, and the blinds were 500, 1,000. So he has 17 big blinds effective, and the villain has him covered. So he has ace of hearts, three diamonds on the button, and he raises to two big blinds pre-flop. The villain raises to five big blinds, and Jester calls. I don't know why I have check raise. That's not check. There should be a check raise there. The villain just raised because he's in the big blind, so he raises to five big blinds, and Jester called. So the flop comes king of clubs, eight of spades, queen of spades, and it goes check, check. Now here, I agree with Jester's check here. This is a very this board is great for villain. The villain is the pre-flop aggressor. He is very likely to have a king, queen, maybe some connected cards like jack 10, jack 9, or suited cards, right? Suited cards that could connect to the spades. And this isn't a great flop for Jester. It's not a great flop. So when the villain checks, sometimes it is tempting to go ahead and bet here. Heads up, you could end the hand early, but a check is reasonable. A check is reasonable, and I don't hate it. So we go to the turn, and the queen of hearts comes on the turn. The villain bets 5K, and Jester calls. Right. So right now, this is my question. Actually, let's get to the river. I want you to start thinking though, however, about what hands bet here on the turn that Jester reasonably beats. And if Jester does not reasonably beat any hands, he shouldn't be calling, right? Soon as he checked, I knew he had no king or queen. Jester, I think I agree with your logic here, right? Because this is a wet board. I mean, any like so many things that call from the button have equity in this hand. You have 9-10, jack 10, jack 9, ace 10, ace jack, any queen, any 8, any king combination. You really want to bet if you did it. He did have a king or queen. So when the villain bets 5K on the turn, what do you think? What do you think he had here, Jester? Even though you didn't have a king or a queen, what do you think he had when he bet on the turn? Dan, are you still not seeing the? Huh? Let's see. Let me get to the turn here. Why is it not showing the turn? You're right. It's not showing the turn. Let me see what's going on. Is it my internet? Okay, well now I'm all the way to the river, Dan. Sorry, I was on the turn and then I skipped, but I'm on the river. But it was Queen of Hearts on the turn and then King of Diamonds on the river. I thought I'd draw Ace 10. Okay. So if you had a hand like Ace 10, you definitely can have equity to get there. And then the river comes the King of Diamonds. Here, the the villain checks to Jester and Jester bets all in. Okay. When Jester's betting all in, this is a 20K pot at this point in time. So it's 20K. Jester's betting 6,900 and he gets called. I think what I will do for my first raffle ticket entry, Jester, I'm going to give you a just a raffle ticket. This is like a good vibes training, y'all. Okay. So this is not like get the right answer. But if you do get the right answer, I'm going to give you 2 raffle tickets. But I want everyone here to guess when the villain calls, what did the villain have in his hand? Okay. And then we're going to talk about Jester's play on the river and if this was a good bet or not. Okay. So Jason says Ace 8. Let's see who gets the closest. And Jester, I am adding it into the raffle just to submit, just for submitting this hand, giving us some content. You're the first one too. Jason says, oh wait, Jason, did you mean Ace 8 or Ace A? Dan says Jacks. I'll let everyone else guess. Max, if you're still here, you got time to guess. Jester, obviously you're forbidden from guessing, but I already gave you your ticket. Briggsy, if you're still here, you are welcome to take your shot at it and guess. Pips, we always love your participation too. Zach, I know you're busy, but if you have time, take a guess at what villain called with here on King of Clubs, 8 of Spades, Queen of Hearts, King of Diamonds. 8, 9. Yeah, villain called. Villain called here. Ace, ace. 8, 9. Briggsy, I want you to look at the board one more time because 8, 9 would. I mean, there would be an interesting call, but he would just be calling with 9 high because it's already a 2-pair board with queens and kings. King, queen. Pips thinks he was nutted. That Jester he played the fiddle, and Jester came and got trapped. Let's see. Briggsy says King 8. Pretty nutted. Pretty nutted. All right. I think that's everybody. Did everyone have a chance to guess besides Chester? Yeah. Well, villain actually had Jack Jack. So True Man Dan, if you stayed with your first guess, you would have been right with the double raffle tickets. But anyway, everyone is just getting a second raffle ticket for participating. So Briggsy, you're getting a ticket. Dan, you're still getting your ticket. True Man Dan Jabster. That's really funny though, because why would Jack Jack call, right? Jack Jack has almost beats nothing. Jack Jack almost beats nothing. And so now let's talk about if Jester played this right. Okay. That's funny, Dan. You've been doing this in your games as well, huh? Well, they usually say that your first intuition is right. That's what they say. I'm not sure if this has been true in my poker career or not. I usually have to think through situations before I get it right. But anyway, so let's talk about it. Does Jester have a good hand to call with here? And then second raffle ticket entry, which there is a correct answer. Would Jester really would is Jester's hand better calling with Ace 3 here, Ace of Hearts, 3 of Diamonds, or let's say Ace of Hearts, 10 of Hearts? Which one's better to call with? Ace of Hearts, 3 of Diamonds, or Ace of Hearts, 10 of Hearts on the river? That's for the double. Let's no, yeah, yeah. Let's do a double raffle ticket for this because you can get a single ticket just for participating. But I want you to reflect on what we've talked about in the last couple weeks, and I'm not going to use the specific words because I don't want to clue you in. But justify your answer. Don't just say your answer, but justify it here. Let's say that Gesture could have had Ace of Hearts, three of diamonds, or Ace of Hearts, ten of hearts, right? Which hand is better for Jester to call with in this spot? So Max and Jester are saying that Ace of 10 is better. Wait, no. Max is saying that no, Jason and Max are saying that Ace of 10 is better. Jester 10 is a blocker. So dance with group. Um so Jester, are you also saying Ace 10 is better? I think we're in agreement that 10 is a blocker. So is Ace 10 better to call with? To go all in here with Ace 10, is that better or worse? Briggsy says Ace 10 is better to go all in. Yes, it's Ace 10 of hearts. Thank you, Pips. We're talking about Ace hearts, 10 of hearts. Do I have all the answers? I'm just waiting for Jester. Yeah, Jester, clarify your answer. Yes, 10 is a blocker. Is it better to go in with Ace 10 or is it better to go in with Ace 3 here? Ace 10 might have bet the flop here. Yeah, that's true. Check on it. Check on the flop is fine too. I'll go better with the 10. Okay, well, I want to point out that all the 10 combinations that might bluff the turn, right? The turn came the Queen of Hearts and villain bet 5K. Oh no, y'all hear that? My kids are here. Hold on. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. We're gonna finish this, but hey, it's okay. Buddy. Yeah, I'm using your bedroom as my office right now. Okay. Can you go? Can you go play with Sissy and then Daddy? I have to take a shower. Okay, go shower, girl. Go play downstairs. Okay. I'm in Max. You want Baymax? Yeah, you get Baymax. How about in 5 minutes you can have Baymax? Okay. A minute. 5 minutes for Baymax. No, okay, thank you. All right. I am appalled to say that all of you are wrong, and let me tell you why. Remember, you are right. 10 is a blocker, right? 10 is a blocker, but you're thinking about it the wrong way. Ace 10 doesn't make your hand any stronger here on the river. Ace 10 makes your hand no stronger, right? Your hand is going to be two pairs, kings and queens with ace high. The 10 is not going to improve your hand strength at all, so it doesn't matter in terms of calling it all in here, betting it all in here, right? But yeah, Max, right? That GTO, that tricky GTO. Why do you not want a 10 in your hand? Because you want your opponent to have a 10 in your hand. You want your opponent to have had 9-10 on the turn, or Jack 10 on the turn, or Ace 10 on the turn, right? You want them to have that. If they don't have the 10, then that reduces the number of hands that are in their bluffing range here. They don't have that Jack 10 anymore. They don't have 9-10. They don't have Ace 10. That's bad for us. That means they might have something else. That means they might have that King 8 or a Queen, or like, who knows? Who knows what else could beat us here, right? So you do not want the 10 in your hand because it doesn't improve your hand strength. It doesn't even matter, right? So why would we want the 10 in our hand? It's everything else that makes us it makes it a profitable call for an all in here or making that play. Um, yeah. So if you're a hero on the river here, like our hero Jester, you really want to think about like the blockers, and you really want to think about like what could the opponent have. Um, yeah, got to eliminate the range. You have to start eliminating the range. And honestly, y'all are thinking about it the right way until maybe the river, right? When you might want ace 10 on the turn when you call that 5K. If you had ace 10 on the turn, obviously you want ace 10 on the turn because you're going to have a stronger hand. You can draw to a straight. But if you're on the river, you don't want ace 10 anymore, which is why the dynamics of calling changes from river, turn, everything. So yeah, the blocker. I mean, ace jack here. You don't honestly. You don't want ace jack here either. You want ace three. Ace three is the best version to call with on the river. Any street before that, obviously flop or turn. You do want the ace jack. But if you're here on the river and you have to make a hero call decision, ace three is actually better than ace jack or ace 10 to call with. So that's crazy to think of, but that is the case because you're now unblocking the hands that you want your opponent to have. So Max, Jester, True Man Dan, really good discussion here though. And since we're doing like the good vibes thing, I'm gonna give Dan the contribution for talking about like eliminating the bottom of the range. Like that's really what we want to do, making sure that we eliminate the bottom of the range. Jason, you get an extra entry because you recognize that Baymax is from Big Hero, and that's good vibes. And if anyone doesn't like it, this is my raffle tonight. So Jason gets an extra entry for knowing that Big Hero is where Baymax is from. I'm sure I'm going to give out a ton. I'm just no. I'm going off of like I'm averaging like 3 hours of sleep a night this week, so I apologize if you are upset with my decision making, but that's just going to be how it is tonight. Lolo, I actually added you to the raffle. Lolo, we talked about your hand. We talked about your hand, Lolo. I think we were in consensus. Let's go back, Lolo. We're gonna rewind just a little bit, so I don't want. I don't want to like. I know you submitted it, so now that you're here, I'm gonna give you an entry. We talked about. I think everyone was in consensus here that betting was fine here on the flop, but since you were committed to it when you called this, this jam, essentially a jam from Prince Tiger, because Prince Tiger is never calling for 1893 more. We decided that you should have bet more on the flop. If you have bet more on the flop, you deny equity from a lot of hands that don't want to continue or like 8, 9, 10. And one of those hands is 2-2, right? If you're talking about villains range here, they called your raise from the big one. And if you have King Jack, you deny a ton of equity by betting big from hands like twos, threes, fours, ace five, like things like that. Even King Queen, you deny a ton of equity by betting big. And if you're just saying, if you're deciding that you're going to go all in, if he goes all in, right? You're deciding that you're committed to this hand, which is a fine hand to commit with because you weren't super deep stacked. You have an up and down straight draw. You have two overs. You have the super nut straight. Like if he had a jack and you both hit the queen, you have an even better straight. Like it's okay to commit with this hand, but we were all in agreement that we probably should have bet bigger here to deny equity from crazy hands like 2-2, which obviously it didn't end up very well in this situation. And you probably would have won a 2.8K pot by betting 3/4 pot, which is fine, rather than risking your whole stack and losing to 2-2, right? It's always better to win 2.8K than to lose 15K. Betting was the right thing, but we probably should have bet more in that case. This was a super wet board. So, yeah. All right. Going on to case step one. All right. So now, again, good vibes. So this is just about contributions. What contributions can we talk about for this hand? I want us to succeed really well when we go up against Pitbull Poker Tour, when we go up against Pocket Snails, and when we go up against Poker Go. And I'm not the best poker player in the world. I'm not the best poker player in the NFT space, but I know, humbly speaking, I'm decent. I know the math behind things. I played this game for 15 years, like many of you have had runs of great success. And in the NFT space, it's very soft, and I've done really well in the NFT space in particular. So I love the idea of evaluating our hands. There might actually be I'm going to talk to Zach again. I love the fact that we're discussing hands in the Discord chat. I encourage you all to do that and just keep doing it. There may be prizes for you coming your way. We're still building some things. We're actually probably going to have a DAO vote soon, um, on maybe some things that we could do to build our community. But keep doing it. You never know. You might have a prize coming your way for keeping our Discord active and talking about poker, because that's something we all have in common. We're all here because we love poker, and if we didn't, we should be in some other NFT community, right? So anyway, one thing that I wanted to talk about in NFT poker and being successful in NFT poker is not checking down marginal hands or not trying to improve, taking advantage of marginal spots where you have good equity, good blockers, and good backdoor blockers, especially position. So what I've learned is in NFT poker, position is key in all of poker, but especially in NFT poker because people really play their hands face up when in a lot of these NFT games. Like they're not super sophisticated, taking obscure, strange lines. They are taking basic approaches, and you can kind of determine like what's going on based on position, because they're going to tell you with their if it's a check raise, they almost always have it. A check raise, they almost always have it, or they're willing to commit their full stack. If they're just check calling, they're marginal. If they're betting, they're probably betting something with good draws like flush draws or up and downs, or they're betting some type of pair. So it's very face up in NFT poker, and I wanted to talk about how you can exploit that in a couple cases from my hand with Pitbull Poker Tour, because I want to prepare y'all as much as possible, especially my ringleaders who are going to go face them next week for $109 stake, and I want to make sure that we're getting the job done, right? So this is like my contribution. I want to make sure we're as prepared as possible, and I want us to be the ones playing for $109 and no one else. But in any case, let's talk about this hand real quick. So I think it's pretty straightforward pre-flop. I get a call from One Shot Poker, who's insane, by the way. I do have some reads of him ahead of time, which kind of affects things. But he calls, what is that, from the hijack? Yeah, cut off, hijack. He calls from the low jack. Relentless, what's up, man? I'm adding you to the raffle entries. You have at least one raffle ticket now for participating. So we've just been talking about blockers for this past couple of hands. So King Nine of Hearts is really good on this board where I raise to 3 big blinds and the flop comes Queen, Queen, 3, because I block King, Queen combinations. I block Queen, 9 combinations. It's not really good that the Queen of Hearts is on the board. It actually would have been better if it was like the Queen of Clubs, because that way I could have blocked King of Hearts, Queen of Hearts, and Queen of Hearts, Nine of Hearts. But now I don't really block those. And I'm not sure if Queen 9 offsuit is always calling here. But in any case, I took an interesting line here where I bet 2 big blinds. I'm Charlone. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. I took the obscure line where I'm betting 2 big blinds on the button just to kind of see where I'm at, which is a really, really small pot. And both Ape Cole and One Shot call. Now, when I bet that 320 and I get a call from Ape Cole and One Shot, that kind of tells me that One Shot is the one who doesn't have the queen. Ape Cole could still have the queen. He could be trapping out of position, which I don't usually recommend, but it is what it is. He could be traveling out of position with the queen, but One Shot, when he calls, he almost never has the queen, because if he did, he would probably check raise here and like see if his queen is better than Ape Cole's queen if he has a strong queen, or try to get some value out of a 3. I really don't know why One Shot called or what he has, but like I said, that guy is insane. So maybe he was trying to outplay me on the turn. I'm not sure. So when they call a very small bet like that, now I can eliminate Ape Cole from being the one who has a queen. Maybe he has some type of 3. And when they check the turn, I take a more aggressive line to represent the queen, right? It's possible, and in NFT poker, this happens a lot. People aren't sure if you're milking them for value or not. So when I bet that 1-6 pot and I get the small calls eliminating One Shot from having the queen, and I still have those strong blockers. When Ape Cole checks again and One Shot checks again on a very clean 4 clubs board, I bet half pot now. So I increase my bet size from just being like a 16% bet to a 50% bet, because if I had a queen and I got those 2 calls, I'm thinking in my head, oh, maybe they really got something, or maybe they really want to be a hero. So I'm going to milk them for more. So I'm going to bet half pot now instead of just 16% pot, which is how I would play a queen either way. And so when I bet that half pot, I get two easy folds and I take it down with king high. Um, this is really how I want you to be playing assertively and aggressively in position. You know, if you're just checking, waiting to see if your king high is good, I promise you one shot is going to take advantage of you on the turn, and you're going to get players who are going to take the initiative if you're not the one taking the initiative. It's going to happen. So make sure that we're the ones taking the initiative when we're going up against them. Because when I bet that 320 and if I got checked raised by either of them, I just mug my hand and keep going. Like it's okay. I had king nine of hearts, I had nothing. It's okay if I have to let go of my equity there. I'm not really trying to win this hand by runner backdoor flush or boat or full house. Even though those things happen, and that's also another good reason why I like to bet something with king nine of hearts here on a this queen three board. I have a lot of backdoor equity if someone tries to play it tricky, right? So if somebody did have a queen here, if Aaron had a queen here and decided to just call on the flop, and then the turn comes like the 10 of hearts or the jack of hearts, really, or like any heart, any jack, any 10, and he decides, I'm going to continue being tricky because that's what I did on the flop, right? So when that 10 of hearts comes on the turn and he checks again, he's like, okay, now I'm going in for the check raise. That's when I'm going to check back. When I get the 10 of hearts on the turn or the jack of the hearts on the turn or any heart on the turn, and he got that, I got those calls and he's being tricky, I'm going to check back and realize my equity like 40% of the time on the river and really stack him, right? So like I'm going to hit my flush, I'm going to hit my straight and really get a ton of equity. So I really like making these types of plays with king nine of hearts with backdoor equity, great blockers, and very tricky bet sizing. So I can take advantage of their action on the river because on the turn because they're playing their hands face up. I really had no idea what one shot has. My guess is he had something like twos or sixes or fives where he had enough pot odds to call to try to hit a boat, and that would have been a really sneaky boat, and he could have really done some damage or someone had a queen. But when I bet that half pot on the turn, he decides like, okay, you know what, he probably has it, and he lets it go. So that's kind of what I think about both these players. They probably had some type of ace high or pocket pair. So that's what we got going on here. Moving on to hand number two, case study hand number two. Um, all right, this is a little bit deeper in the tournament. I had been bluffing a lot, sometimes getting caught, and so my stack was actually down from this previous hand before. So I was like at I think 8K, and I get a bunch of calls around, and I'm in the big blind, so not much to do here. Some people get like way too aggressive, and they try to like jam all in or something, trying to steal the pot from people who are limping, and that works sometimes. But I would want there's better spots to do it than with 8-3 of clubs. So I decided to check right, and then it's a pretty great flop for us: 7 of clubs, king of clubs, 6 of clubs, and we have this flush draw here, right? So this is just the vibe check, right? And I'm not saying you have to agree with my play here, but let me know what you typically do on this board. Let's just get a raffle ticket in there. Let me know that you're still here listening, paying attention to the stream. Let me know if you're flopping a high flush in a. Let's see how many people are in this hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, five-handed, five-handed. It's five-handed. You flop an a high flush. What are you doing in this spot? Let me know in the chat. Five-handed, you flop an a high flush in a limp pot. Japster, Max, both getting we're both getting the raffle ticket. Zach says he's betting, but Zach is disqualified from raffles. Sorry, Zach. We've talked about this, man. Can't win your own raffle. I am Charlone. I wish you were a holder. You would definitely be getting a. You're definitely getting you would definitely get raffle tickets if you were a holder. Sorry. but this is holders only. Whoa, whoa, getting you a raffle ticket. I know, Zach. I'm just yanking your chain, man. You know me. Like to kid sometimes. Getting 2.5x to see if anyone also liked it and how much. Maybe 20% of my stack. Okay, nice. I know, Charlene. You're gonna be a holder soon. We're running $16 and goes probably starting next week, so we're gonna get you in here. Definitely gonna get you in here. Also, oh, you can always mint through Bullet, 50K Bullet, and we have a Spaces, Charlon, in 15 minutes. So we're about to hop off here in 10 minutes, so everyone can get over to Twitter. But you can win Bullet, which can be used to mint an Outlaw if you have 50K Bullet. So go attend the Twitter Spaces, ask some good questions, and get some Bullet. Thank you for being on the Discord. Now I recognize your name. I definitely appreciate you. Yes, Lolo. That is the answer. I don't want to see a high club on the turn. So as you can see, I go all in, right? I go all in on 89.48. Now, am I drawing dead sometimes here? Yes, right? Do I also have 13 big blinds? Well, no, I have. Do I have 18 big blinds and a turbo? That's another thing you have to know about the structure of NFT tournaments. Most people running NFT tournaments, especially if they're running free rolls, they just want to get you in and out, man. They're not trying to give you 10-minute blind levels and get you really good structure. When you have 20 big blinds in a normal tournament, you have a playable stack. When you have 20 big blinds, 18 big blinds in an NFT tournament in a turbo structure, you need to make decisions. You're going to have to take chances. You're going to have to pick spots, and that's why you have to play aggressive. So, given that, if I check raise here, I'm going to go through everyone's decision making, and I'm going to talk about why I've learned that this is not necessarily the best decision for regular $33, $22 stake poker. But I'm talking about NFT poker here, right? Where I want you to be successful when you're going to win those stakes. Why do I bet? And honestly, even if I look at a solver, I would estimate that this isn't the worst bet any of the time. So I'm going to talk about all of these decisions real quick, and then talk about why I chose to go all in instead of doing all of these, right? And it's not like I'm just a psycho. I've been playing poker for 15 years, and I'm reading the same content we've all been studying. So let's talk about it. Thank you, Max. Definitely game speed, and this game speed has played a role for us especially. So I'm giving you the ticket as well, a double ticket here, because that's really what it comes down to. So if I bet or if I check raise, let's say realistically maybe ape cold bets, one shot bets, and then I go all in. If I go all in after they both have betted ahead of me, I think it's a lot more obvious that I already have a made flush. And then I might lose equity from ape call or one shot. When I just open jam like 8.9K into 3.4K, it makes it seem like I don't want somebody to call. So it means I either have like a king myself and I'm trying to deny equity, maybe I have two pair or something like that, or maybe they think I have like the ace of clubs, like the ace of clubs and like, I don't know, a random seven. And they think I'm trying to I'm willing to gamble because that's what people see in NFT poker. People are willing to gamble. They're willing to take crazy shots and do crazy things. So they might think when I'm the one shoving that I don't have a made hand yet. If I'm check raising after their betting action, they're going to fold. I don't know about one shot, but Ape Cole is probably going to fold. If he bets one shot calls and I check raise, then he folds and I lose that action. You see what I'm saying? I got maximum value by open shoving my all in here. If I check raise here, I'm not sure I get to triple my stack. I might get to 2x my stack. Maybe I get one of these guys to call, but I'm not sure I get to triple my stack if I'm the one if I don't open shove. Like if I have to check raise this flop, I'm pretty sure they get scared. They realize I haven't made a hand and they let it go. You see what I'm saying? Like it's different when I just open shove a super aggro amount that makes it seem like I don't want a call, and then they're gonna try to be the hero and take it down, and they're drawing dead by the turn. So it's it's one thing if they have the hands that they had, and then we're gonna talk about what if they had the ace of clubs. If they had the ace of clubs, are they really calling an 8.9K bet all in? I'm not sure. Like if a lot of people in NFC poker might chase that ace high flush draw, They might chase the ace high flush draw and put in their whole stack, but I do want to deny equity, right? 3.4K is in the pot. That's almost 40% of my stack. If I have A3 clubs and I have my made hand, I'm okay with taking 40%. I don't want to run against, ace of clubs, seven of hearts, which has a ton of equity, right? They still have they can get a higher flush draw and crazy stuff happens, like they can make a boat. So I really don't want to give equity to ace of clubs, ace clubs and an X, or I don't want that. And if someone really did have already a made flush and I decide to go the check raise route, it doesn't make a difference because I'm getting stacked anyway, right? If I go check raise all in, getting stacked, who cares if I put my stack in right now or put my stack in later? This is kind of going back to the Lolo Rich hand where we talked about, like, why are we betting like one third pot and giving equity to hands that shouldn't be in this pot anymore? Take your pots. You need to take these pots when you have them. 40% of your stack, gaining that right away is a good thing. Take your pots, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to go all in on this hand no matter what. So which avenue allows me to realize the most equity if I'm going all in? It's not check raising. And the scary thing is, I do not want to bet three-fourths pot. So I'm going to talk. Let's go through some of the answers where we're saying we're going to bet three-fourths pot, bet one half pot, et cetera, min bets and stuff like that. The scary thing here is you can, if you decide to go betting one half pot or three-fourths pot, and a club comes on the turn, I want you to really think about that. If a club came on the turn here, am I going to put the rest of my stack in when I get two calls behind? Obviously, these guys are willing to call a full all in bet. They're probably calling a half pot bet. What if the five of hearts didn't come on the turn? What if it was the five of clubs? How do I feel about that? I feel like I'm screwed. And maybe if I check and Ape Cole doesn't like the card, he checks, and one shot, who I already told you is a psycho, he goes all in because he knows that we must not like this card. He goes all in, and I fold my eight high flush draw. I expose myself to so much, to being bluffed out of my hand because I don't want to see a club on the turn. There are really bad turns for me in this situation, right? There's at least eight other cards that are really bad, and one shot could have easily bluffed me out of his hand if I bet one third pot, get two calls, and he jams the turn when it goes check check, right? So you really have to think outside of the box a little bit in NFT poker. You have to think about, like, when you're committed, and if you have to decide, like, use your time bank. If you're committed to a hand, apply pressure, deny equity. Because even though I flopped the flush, King Jack and King Nine still had ways to beat me in this hand. Runner sixes, runner sevens, runner nines, runner jacks. It doesn't happen all the time. Or the case king and then the board pairs, right? That you've all seen disgusting stuff like that happen. It's okay to deny equity from King Nine and King Jack and going all in, and especially five-handed, like winning that 40% pot, even if nobody called, is fine. It's fine. It's a victory. It's not something I would do in normal poker, but turbo structure, I'm there. I'm there. I'm putting my stack in. It's getting in no matter what. And in this case, this is just kind of a example of how you win everything, right? So Jason, giving you and Dan extra dojo, well, I just said, extra raffle tickets for participating. I appreciate it. Last hand, real quick, and then we're all going to jump to spaces. Case study 3, to get us ready for the tournament. Okay, this is a hand where I have two people, and this happens in NFT poker too, right? I have two people behind me who are sitting out. Equalizer is sitting out, and Querv Bill are sitting out. Unicorn is not sitting out, and Mr. Echo are in the hand. Mr. Echo calls under the gun. I'm not an idiot. I know nine of spades, five of clubs is a trash hand. I know that. Mr. Echo has a VPIP of like 30%, which means he's not playing very many hands at all, right? So Mr. Echo decides that he wants to call from the UTG with a really tight range. He's pretty strong, 30%. A6 of clubs is not a good hand to limp with. Probably want to raise or fold, but whatever. I decide I want to play in position. I want to represent a better hand, and I also know I'm going to get equity because I have two people folding behind me, so I'll have position for sure, and the big blind's probably going to check, right, after two calls from weak players in NFT poker who are not doing a lot of raising pre-flop unless they feel like they are strong. And so when it goes check, check, I didn't come in this hand to see if my 9-5 is going to be good, right? I bet half pot trying to bluff them because that was my intention even pre-flop. You have to think about bluffing even pre-flop. And I get one fold and I get a call. When the 9 comes on the turn, I really don't know why Mr. Echo didn't shove his entire stack if he had a jack on the flop. And so I know he has something, but now I feel like I haven't beat and I have enough equity in my hand to actually check back. I decide I really don't want to jam all in here because my hand now has equity. I'm not bluffing anymore. I have a pair of 9s. So I'll check. And then when the king comes on the river, that's not a great card. A lot of stuff makes it that probably called. King high flush draws, queen 10, etc., etc. But I've realized my equity. Check, check. Right? Took it down with 9-5. You need to put yourself in spots. You need to get in hands. Sometimes playing very aggressive helps out in NFT poker. With that said, we're going to spin the wheel 2 times real quick, and then we are going to all jump into the spaces because we have a bullet raffle to get to in our Twitter spaces that I'm supposed to be at as well. All right, so wheel names. I hope y'all learned something. I hope you had fun. We'll probably be continuing some type of coaching later in September, maybe, especially if we need coaching going into a big 109 tournament. I'm open to coaching anyone in Crypto Outlaws for free and talking about how to make you successful if you want that, or giving you resources to make you successful. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see where we're at for the $33 stake. Let me turn there's my volume. Briggsy, you are the winner of the $33 stake. And let's see who gets this $22. Oh, is it Max or Jester? Max Q, you are the winner of the $22 stake. So Briggsy and Max, congratulations, y'all. I love y'all. Really do. Appreciate y'all so much. Okay, let me talk to Owen about that. My kids are here. So let's jump to Twitter spaces, everybody. Okay, let's talk about it. We're going to work it out. And y'all have a great night, everybody. Have a blessed weekend. Why is it popping?